let's not beat around the bush, it's Avatar The Last Airbender. But why? Why am I saying that Avatar The Last Airbender is the same as Spongebob Squarepants? Well, I'm not, and this is a very critical thing to understand about my point here. The title of this video is There Was Another Cartoon Like Spongebob Squarepants, and to explain how Avatar is like SpongeBob, we need to establish what Empleman argued made SpongeBob so unique. By the way, if it wasn't already clear, this is not me trying to argue with Empleman. I love the work he does, and this video is in no way meant to devalue his SpongeBob video. This is honestly just me using an already existing video as a vector to make a point about my favorite show, so don't take it that seriously. Anyways, what is Empleman's point? Roll the clip.
This short, basic clip with no dialogue represents precisely why SpongeBob is such a popular show. When I watched this scene as a kid, I was SpongeBob. But when I watch this scene today, I'm Squidward. You see, for kids that grew up watching SpongeBob, this show acts as a link, a connection, a time warp between our past and present selves.
This is the heart of Emp's video, the contrast between the audience's childhood represented by SpongeBob and the audience's adulthood represented by Squidward. I propose that Avatar The Last Airbender resonated with its audience in much the same way that SpongeBob did.
Maybe we can make some big pots of glue, and then I can use glue bending to stick his arms and legs together so he can't bend anymore.
Yeah, then you can show him his baby pictures and all those happy memories will make him good again.
Do you really think that would work?
No!
When I watched this as a kid, I was Aang, but when I watch this today, I am Zuko. Empleman calls SpongeBob a link between their past and present selves, and it is in this way that I believe it is like Avatar. True, Aang and Zuko do not have many direct interactions, much the same way that SpongeBob and Squidward do, but I nonetheless find that the show makes the dichotomy between them very clear to the audience through dialogue, editing, and directing. The similarities between this element of these two shows run deeper though, because as Empleman points out, the critical difference between SpongeBob and Squidward is not their situation, but their outlook on that situation. The relationship between Aang and Zuko can be described in much the same way. Both lived relatively happy childhoods until an inciting incident which scars them for life, physically and or emotionally, permanently removes the person they love most from them and leaves them feeling isolated and alone. And on top of it all, now they have the responsibility of fulfilling a seemingly impossible task that not even their predecessors, who were thought to be some of the strongest, most capable men the world had ever seen, could accomplish. And despite being in such similar situations which the show points out in some subtle and not so subtle ways, they react to that situation very differently. Zuko desperately tries to live up to the responsibilities placed upon him, while Aang wants nothing more than to have his responsibilities lifted from him. And with this point, I'd like to draw a specific parallel to Emp's video wherein he compares the dichotomy of SpongeBob and Squidward to life as a millennial, because I believe the same can be said for Avatar and life as a Zoomer. Specifically, Aang's relationship with being the Avatar and Zuko's relationship with being Fire Nation royalty as it relates to many Zoomers' relationship with the internet. Zoomers are the first generation in existence who will be unable to remember a time where the World Wide Web didn't exist. We've grown up in a culture that's been getting exponentially faster, more chaotic, and harder to keep track of by the day, and in what feels like the not too distant future, we are going to be the ones managing it. We were born with the privilege of having access to a seemingly infinite wealth of knowledge and information which has placed a huge expectation on us to be more capable than our predecessors. And it is an expectation that we are capable of fulfilling, but it is nonetheless terrifying because of how much is on the line. Make one mistake and you're cancelled, potentially forever. The very instrument which gave us access to such an extraordinary wealth of information, the instrument which was handed to us at birth, the instrument that is our greatest strength, is also the thing that can hurt us the most. Much the same way that Emp argues that so many millennials can so heavily resonate with the thematic undertones of SpongeBob as they relate to that generation specifically, I believe that an equal number of Zoomers feel the same way about Avatar. If there's one big argument against the claims I've made in this video, it's that the narrative of the show does not pick a side between Aang and Zuko in the same way that SpongeBob frequently frames the mindset of its title character being better than Squidward's cynicism. Rather, Avatar acknowledges the flaws in both Aang and Zuko's outlook and forces them to grow as characters, yada yada yada, overarching story, character arcs, you get the gist. Another interesting thing about how Avatar portrays the different life outlooks that come with age is that it has quite a few old characters, the most notable of which, of course, being being Uncle Iroh. And I would have probably tried to make an argument for how Avatar takes the dichotomy of childhood versus adulthood presented in SpongeBob and evolves it into a trichotomy between childhood, adulthood, and seniority, but I don't think I'm very qualified to analyze how well Avatar portrays its older characters for obvious reasons. Though I do hope that one day I will find myself able to relate as strongly to Iroh as I do to Aang and Zuko. And one last point, none of this is me making an argument that Avatar is a better show than SpongeBob. My commentary here is in no way meant to be a comparison of these shows' qualities, but rather the relationship that each of them had with their audience. I know that SpongeBob and Avatar are very different shows, but again, I'm not trying to argue that they are the same. I just think that the observations which Lemon makes about what made SpongeBob click with its audience so much are also observations that can be made of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And that about does it. I tried to keep this video short and to the point, so let me know if you enjoyed it down in the comments. What's your take on my thesis? Are there any other shows that are like Spongebob Squarepants? And most importantly, how you doing? I hope you're doing good. Anyway, thanks for watching, subscribe to support the channel, hit the bell icon to get notified of future uploads, have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one!